for Open House here on WHTL.
It's time for the Open House on WHTL.
What are you, some kind of real estate agent?
You're joking, right? I don't joke about real estate.
With the Hanson Real Estate Group.
I never understood why people are so afraid to eat at an open house.
I know.
The Open House starts right now.
And it's Wednesday, which means Open House. Today I get to welcome Josh Baecker into the studio. And good morning.
Good morning, Mark.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm loving this weather.
I could get used to it.
I can too. And, the high for today, they say 58. I bet we're going to hit 60, though.
I think so if the sun stays out.
And then a little bit of rain and thunderstorm action on Friday, which is better than snow. So, anytime you can get through January and February, it's all looking much better from there.
Oh, yeah. And you get the first thunderstorm, then it really feels like spring.
It does. And I like thunderstorms.
I do, too.
I do, especially at night when you're trying to sleep. They're just great. I'm one of those guys where, maybe because I grew up out in tornado country, but, I'm one of those idiots that if they put out a tornado warning, I don't go to the basement. I go stand on the porch. I want to watch.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, so I'm one of those crazy guys. I don't know about you, but...
Well, I would watch.
There you go.
I live on the edge.
They're exciting to look at. They are. You don't want to be in one, but they're exciting to look at. Spring is going to be here before you know it. And are listings starting to pick up a little bit now?
Yeah, this time of year, they always generally start to pick up. Winter is really cold and snowy, and nobody really wants to move or do anything in winter, which I don't blame them. Yeah. So once spring rolls around, everybody's got cabin fever, and they're looking to make their moves and changes in life before summer gets here typically. So, springtime is generally the busiest time of year for real estate.
And I was talking about it, I think maybe a week or two ago during Open House. Now it's March. And, if you're thinking of listing a property or you're thinking of buying a property, by the time you get through the procedure, it's going to be 60, 90 days out. The kids will be out of school. It's a perfect time to move. A lot of people are going, I don't want to move until the kids are out of school and so on. Now's a really good time.
Yep, exactly. So,
what are some things that you should do in the springtime if you've got a property you're going to list that can make a difference?
And a lot of people call us in. They don't call us in the day they want to list. They'll call us in early just to kind of give them an idea on price, the process, and any small repairs and stuff they need to do to the property before it actually hits the market. So we always give people these tips, and it's usually the simpler ones are the most beneficial. Everybody wants to know, should I replace the roof, should I replace windows? Those are big cost expenses that you don't always get your money back out of. So the simple things are the cheapest, the easiest, and can get you probably the more money back than anything. So decluttering rooms is probably one of the biggest.
That makes a big difference. It really might be. I'm married to a wife who is a big declutterer. And I can tell you it makes a big difference. You walk into a room, if it doesn't look messy, the appeal is much higher.
It is much higher. And it just makes the room feel bigger. And, people just, if it's so cluttered that they can't see a lot of the room, they feel like they might be missing something. So they just kind of get, nervous on stuff like that there'd be it's easy to cover a defect if you got a bunch of stuff piled on top of it. So all of a sudden you take everything out, there's a big rip or stain in the carpet. Right. And, it's just a turn off for people.
That doesn't mean shoving everything into a closet.
Yeah, not Friends style here.
But decluttering, makes a lot of sense. That can make a big difference. If you haven't needed it for 6 months to a year, you're probably not going to need it.
Yep, and especially if you want to list in spring, you got all winter to do it. So you can go slow, room by room. Because all of a sudden, if, maybe you do get a new job suddenly that you didn't see coming and you got to move rather fast. But if you got winter, you want to put your house in the market in spring, you have winter, it's a lot easier to declutter an entire house if you go room by room and you have time rather than in a weekend. So
that makes sense. And simple cleaning, I know you have on your list here.
Yep. So, just general wear and tear around your light switches and your kitchen cabinet hardware. So your hands are always touching it and they're not always clean, and you'll get those kind of dark marks around those things. So if those are big things, if you can go around and clean all those up just to make everything seem clean, it just makes a big difference in buyers' minds.
That does, a clean house makes a huge difference. So that, and you're right, it's the little things, the little touches that make a difference.
And especially around here, everybody's got Asian beetles. I don't care how new your house is or how much you spray, you got them in the house. So you go through the windowsills, get all your Asian beetles, cobwebs, just dust. It just makes the house appeal better to buyers.
What are some other things that are easy fixes that can make a big difference?
Well, those small things that you just get used to living with in your house, you're like, I'll get to that later, and then all of a sudden 5 years later it's still there. Right. So replacing outlet covers and light switch covers, a lot of times they'll break and people just leave them, or if one's not working, get it fixed, because that's if they get a home inspection, that's going to be up on there too. And it's just nice to have all that stuff taken care of. If you're missing trim, you got some bad carpet, it's just kind of nice to get those simple things. Some holes in the wall, maybe patch them up and paint over before you get in the middle of the whole process. It's just kind of nice to have that stuff all taken care of beforehand. So once you list, you can hit the ground running and you don't have to worry about it.
Very good advice. And, I think a lot of people, when they walk into a home, they know everybody notices different things, and you never know what that potential buyer might notice and go, oh, I don't like that, or that's a turnoff. Maybe something that you don't even pay attention to, but everybody has a different eye.
Oh, absolutely.
So the little things do add up. And cobwebs, they're easy to overlook, aren't they?
That's it's amazing how often you're showing up, especially the older houses around here. They got they're 50 years plus, and everyone's always worried to go into the basement. It's always like a big moment. Let's walk downstairs and see what it's like.
Exactly.
And I'll tell you what, it makes a big difference in a lot of buyers' minds if you can get those cobwebs all cleaned out. And it's really not that hard.
The only time I ever know how to break dance is when I walk into one in the dark.
Yep.
Yeah, then I'm pretty good at it, but otherwise, no.
And a lot of those old homes, that's rough cut hardwood timber, so they're structurally more solid than even today's homes. But people get nervous in those older homes because they don't like the cobwebs and everything, which just, it's just from time.
Yeah.
So
it's down there.
Yeah. A lot of times, just one buyer goes down and the other one stays upstairs.
Yep, absolutely. And cleaning up the yard, that's a good one, too, because, we're getting in that time now where the snow's going to be gone. Yep. And after winter, you always have the dead branches and the leaves, and just cleaning up the outside can make a big difference.
Yep. All the evidence from things you didn't get done in fall that you wanted to get done is now being re-exposed. So, and then you get branches that fall down over winter with windstorms and everything. Sure. So it's just nice to get out there and, when the snow melts, everything's kind of just flat, and it's a good time of year to get everything raked up, cleaned up, and it just gives that better appeal if you can manicure your yard a little bit. That first impression is a big one.
Now, you've got a piece of property here that you want to talk about that's, wow, this is outstanding. Now, is this a conventional sale or an auction?
A conventional sale.
This property looks amazing.
It is. Jamie and Jacob just listed 171 acres between Independence and Arcadia. You got 1.7 miles of Trempealeau River frontage, which, if you're a trapper, fisherman, hunter, you could do everything with this property. So you got a mix of open and wooded ground. Like I said, the river is there as well. That 194-inch state record crossbow buck was harvested off this property, so it's been known for holding whitetails. And it's got a lot of opportunities. If you want some income from cropping, you can rent it out for extra income, or if you want to take it out of cropping and you want to plant trees to make it more of a hunting, trapping, property, you can do that as well. So you got a lot of options here with this property.
It looks like the topography is really amazing. I mean, it's just not flat. It looks like it's got a lot of different features to it.
Yep, it's kind of in the river bottom there. So, I mean, it's generally flat, but it's got some rolls to it. So you get some topography changes, and it just offers a lot of opportunities, especially if you want to be on the river. You can do some waterfowl hunting as well as fishing.
Boy, you don't find 171 acres very often around here.
No, you don't. They're getting fewer and far between.
And, the beauty of land, it never goes down in price. So
that's true. There's a lot of people that invest in it.
This is a good price for that much land.
It is. And just think in 10 years what it's going to be worth.
I know. If people want to check it out, what's the best way to do that, Josh?
My cell phone is the best way to get hold of me. You can call or text 715-533-4114.
All right, Josh Baecker with Hanson Real Estate Group, a little bit of real estate with open house. You can find that property on the Facebook page, WHTL Facebook page, along with the live stream interview with Josh. Josh, good to see you. Glad you came in.
Thanks for having me, Mark.
All right, open house every Wednesday here on WHTL with our friends from Hanson Real Estate Group. Check them out at hregroup.com.
Brought to you by the Soy Checkoff. Investing farmer dollars to boost demand for U.S. soy. Drive on-farm resilience. Bring value to U.S. soybean farmers. Led by its 77 farmer leaders across 30 states, your Soy Checkoff strategically invests in market segments spanning animal health and nutrition, biofuels, infrastructure, production research, new uses, and